Hello students, today I will give you a lesson topic mangrove ecosystems of India. This topic is included in your syllabus, that is Environmental Science BSc second year unit 2. Now I will start. Introduction. The word mangrove is considered to be a combination of the Portuguese word mango, M-A-N-G-U-E, mango, and English word grove, G-R-O-V-E, grove. That means the plants which are growing in the salt water. So mangroves are the salt-tolerant plants of tropical and subtropical intertidal regions of the world. The specific regions where these plants occur are termed as mangrove ecosystem. These ecosystems are highly productive but extremely sensitive and fragile. Besides mangroves, the ecosystem also harbors other plants and animal species. Now come to the characteristics of the mangrove ecosystems. Mangroves are unequally adapted to tropical and subtropical coasts, and although relatively low in number of the species, this forest provides numerous ecosystem services and support coastal livelihoods. They are the only ecosystems on the earth where land, freshwater and saltwater mix together and to form a special type of the ecosystem. Mangrove forests can be recognized by their dense tangle of prop roots that make the trees appear to be standing on stilts above the water. Mangroves are one among the most productive ecosystems on the earth. The roots slow the movement of the tidal waters, causing sediments to settle out of the water and build up the muddy bottom. They are also known as tidal forests or coastal woodlands. The intricate root systems of the mangrove makes these forests very attractive to the fish and other organisms seeking food and shelter from predators. The definition of a mangrove species is based on a number of anatomical and physiological adaptations to the saline hypoxic soils. These include viviparous adapted to the hypochlorite, pneumatophores or aerial roots that allow oxygenation of roots in the hypoxic soils, and salt exclusion or salt excretion to cope with high salt concentrations. The species that are exclusively restricted to tropical intertidal habitats have been defined as true mangrove, while those are not exclusive to this habitat have been termed as the mangrove associates. There are two words, that is mangrove and true mangrove and mangrove associates. Now you know the difference between this true mangrove and the mangrove associates. Importance of the mangrove ecosystems. This is a structurally simple forest system with the highest biomass production in the intertidal and estuarine areas, and its standing crop is greater than any other aquatic ecosystems on the earth. It is structurally and functionally unique to all well-developed aerial roots, viviparous germination, salt regulation systems, etc. Mangroves are the only blue carbon forests in the ocean and are also known as coastal woodland, oceanic rainforests, and tidal forests. It is a rare type of forest in the world with only 73 tree species occupying 15.2 million hectares in 123 countries. Mangrove forests are ecologically significant and economically important. They provide ecosystem services worth at least $1.6 billion each year and support coastal livelihoods. They serve as nursery, feeding, and breeding grounds for crabs, prawns, mollusks, finfish, birds, reptiles, and mammals, etc. A large amount of the global fish catches up to 80% is dependent on mangroves, thereby ensuring the food security of coastal peoples. The mangroves provide firewood, timber, cattle feed, honey, medicines, and tourism, thereby ensuring water security for coastal populations. Mangrove forests remove coastal pollution, particularly toxic heavy metals, coming from large number of the rivers towards the ocean. They offer coastal protection against natural calamities such as tsunami, storm surges, cyclone, and flood, etc. The potential to mangroves in carbon capture is sequestration is remarkable in mitigating the impacts of the global warming and climate change. In India, mangrove forests can remove 9 tons of carbon dioxide every day, which is approximately equivalent to $270 million in the international market. It is a big amount of money daily we earn. In view of importance of this ecosystem, UNO declared 26 July as International Mangroves Day. Now comes to the mangroves in India. India has a mangrove forest cover about 4,921 square kilometers, occupying only 3.2% of global mangrove forests. Sundarbans has the largest mangrove cover, occupying 43%, and Gujarat has the second largest cover with 23% of the total cover in India. The two areas alone occupy 66% of the mangrove cover. Interestingly, adverse condition of high energy tidal course, experiencing two extreme situations. For instance, Sundarbans is in humid and wet conditions with high biodiversity, whereas mangrove forest in Gujarat is in arid and dry condition with low biodiversity development. They protect groundwater aquifers from seepage of seawater. Interestingly, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands have the third largest mangrove forest in India, occupying 13% of the total cover, located in low energy tidal course with rich biodiversity. Sundarbans is internationally recognized as the World's Heritage Site of UNESCO. The Gangetic Delta, which Sundarbans is situated, is largest wetland with the highest sedimentation in the world. Sundarbans in India and Bangladesh put together is the largest mangrove forest in the world, and it is also the only mangrove colonized with Royal Bengal tigers in the world. Sundarbans supports globally threatened species such as tigers, fishing cat, Gangetic dolphin, estuarine crocodiles, horseshoe crab, water monitor lizards, and river terrapins. India is the third richest country for mangrove biodiversity in the world, after Indonesia and Australia. Beta carnica in the Odisha state is considered as mangrove genetic paradise in the world. Beta carnica is also associated with the largest population of birds and crocodiles, especially albino crocodiles. Other natural treasures along the mangrove in India are: number one, world's largest nesting site of the olive ridley turtle in the coast of Odisha. Number 2, seagrass meadows associated with the sea cow. Number 3, coral reefs associated with most beautiful ornamental fishes. And number 4, intertidal mudflats teeming with the migratory and residential birds of about 2 million belonging to 200 species. Mangroves are worshipped in several places around the world. There is a temple of mangroves in the Chidambaram of Tamil Nadu, where the mangrove species Exocaria, Excoecaria, Agalosa, Agallocisa. It is a large tree or big trees, has been worshipped for the last 17 centuries. India has the highest record of biodiversity in the mangrove forest in the world, and no other countries have recorded so many species to be present in this type of the ecosystem. So far, 4,107 species, including 23% of flora and 77% of the faunal species, have been recorded. 8 groups of organisms dominated by exceeding 100 species, and they are mangrove species. Mangrove species means, I have already mentioned about the true mangroves and mangrove associates. So, mangrove species is composed of 2 groups of the plants, that is true mangrove and group associates. Marine algae, number 2. Number 3, fungi. Number 4, crabs. Number 5, mollusks. Number 6, insects. And other vertebrates, 7 and 8, finfish. Overall, the mangrove cover increased by 12.63% over 30 years at 0.72% per year in India. However, open sparse mangrove cover is 40% in the country. This deserves attention for the transformation into a dense mangrove cover. Further, India has 2 globally threatened species, Heritiera fomis, Heritiera, Heritiera, Heritiera fomis, Fomes. It is a beautiful flowering plant. It is locally known as Sundari. And Sonaricia griffithii, Sonaricia, Soneratia, Sonaricia griffithii, Griffithii. Of the total 11 species under the IUCN Red List, these 2 species are nearing local extinction due to low seed viability and slow growth, and local collections by the peoples. Sundarbans in India is named after the beautifully looking the species that locally known as Sundari, but these species are disappearing fast. Now comes to the drivers and pressures on mangroves. That means threats given to the mangrove ecosystems. Mangrove forests continue to be stressed by various factors like conversion for urbanization, aquaculture, agriculture, salt farming, and other developmental activities such as tourism, mining, refineries, oil pipeline passage, ports, dam and road constructions, changes in hydrological regimes, increasing salinity, coastal pollution, siltation, exploitation of fishery resources, cattle grazing, private ownership, and ineffective institutional regimes. Specific stressors are agriculture and brown seed collection in the Sundarbans, West Bengal. Number 2, brown farming and encroachment in Andhra Pradesh and Orissa. Number 3, cattle feeding in Tamil Nadu and Gujarat. Number 4, industrial developments in Gujarat. Number 5, cyclone and floods along East Coast. Number 6, mangrove areas under private lands in Kerala, Maharashtra and Karnataka. And number 7, urbanization in Mumbai. There is growing threat of climate change, especially sea level rise in low-lying coastal areas of the country. Now next point, management and conservation of mangrove forests. Despite increasing pressures, mangrove forests are successfully managed in India by adopting 3 management strategies. Number 1, promotory. Number 2, regulatory. Number 3, participatory. In the number 1, the promotory approach, the government of India implements the Management Action Plan MAP in 38 mangrove areas identified all along the coast. Number 2, in the regulatory approach, India is strong on the policy front with sufficient legal support for mangrove protection in the national park, wildlife sanctuary, reserve forests, protected forests, and community reserves. However, effective implementation of the legislations is often constrained by lack of financial and human resource, poor infrastructure, and lack of political will. Number 3, focus on participatory management involving all stakeholders, especially from industrial sectors, is essential. India had a mangrove cover of 6,000 square kilometers during the year 1960s, and it has reduced by 21% in 2017. However, since 1995, mangrove cover has got stabilized close to the 4,500 square kilometers with an increasing trend despite increasing pressure. There was an increase of 112 square kilometer mangrove cover between 2013 and 2015, significantly in Maharashtra, Orissa, Andhra Pradesh, and Andaman Nicobar Islands. It is necessary to achieve a target of 6,000 square kilometer by restoring the mangrove in potential areas within a period of 10 years. In this regard, the best proven practices of participatory management can be suitably replicated in other mangrove areas. Mangrove planting efforts have largely been failure due to death of planted seedlings. In this regard, ecological restoration is suggested, in which right conditions are provided for mangrove to grow back naturally. It is necessary to understand local ecological conditions and hydrological regimes to restore the hydrology and remove the barriers to natural regenerations. It is also necessary to select appropriate species for planting and assessment of success and functionality in the restored areas. This approach is more effective to ensure the restored mangroves survive and function better. Afforestation refers to the plantation in new areas, whereas restoration refers to the planting in damaged, degraded, and destroyed areas. Of the restoration types, natural restoration and hydrological restoration are more preferable than artificial restoration by planting. Now comes to the conclusion. I have covered the important aspects of the mangrove ecosystems in India In concluding part, I will say that mangrove ecosystems are the special type of ecosystem in the world. Apart from the other benefits, mangrove ecosystems can trap carbon dioxide in a large amount, that is 9 tons of carbon dioxide every day, which is approximately equivalent to 270 million US dollars in international market. So it helps in the mitigating the global climate change. Now, the need of our is to save and conserve the mangrove ecosystems. Now, let us have a slogan: save environment, save mangrove ecosystem for the future of the world. Thank you.